What happens when power is used to embarrass the wrong person? When money speaks in a language meant to exclude, not communicate? And when someone assumed to be small answers in a way that changes the room forever? The restaurant was quiet in the way expensive places usually are. Soft music, low voices, heavy confidence in the air. He sat near the window, tailored suit, expensive watch, phone face down like nothing on it mattered more than him. People noticed him without trying. He liked that. She approached the table with a notepad and a calm smile. "Good evening," she said. "Can I get you started with something to drink?" He didn't look up right away. When he did, his eyes moved over her slowly, careless. Then he spoke, not in English, but in a sharp, fast foreign language. The tone was clear even if the words weren't. Dismissive, mocking. A few people nearby glanced over. She paused. "I'm sorry," she said politely. "Could you repeat that?" He smirked and repeated it louder this time, still not in English. A man at the next table chuckled. The billionaire finally looked pleased. He leaned back in his chair and added something else in the same language, smiling like he had just told a joke everyone else was too slow to understand. "She won't get it," he said in English, loud enough for the room. "That's the point." Her hand tightened slightly around the pen. For a second, it looked like she might step away. Instead, she straightened her shoulders and looked him directly in the eyes. Then she replied, in the same language, perfectly. The smile slipped off his face before he could stop it. A few heads turned, someone stopped chewing. The man beside him frowned. The billionaire blinked once, then laughed awkwardly. "You speak that?" he asked. She didn't smile. "Fluently," she said. "You ordered sparkling water, no ice, and you asked if I was smart enough to get that right." The room went very quiet. She leaned in just enough for him to hear the last part. "I am." For the first time that night, he didn't look rich. He looked unsure, and he had no idea this was only the beginning. The silence didn't break right away. It sat there, heavy, forcing everyone at nearby tables to pretend they weren't listening, while listening anyway. The billionaire cleared his throat and picked up his menu like it could protect him. "That's impressive," he said. "Where did you learn it?" She wrote something on her pad before answering. "At home," she said simply. He looked up. "Your family's from there?" She met his eyes again. "No," she replied, "but my education is." That wasn't the answer he expected. He shifted in his chair. "Well," he said, forcing a smile, "then you understood the joke." She nodded. "I understood the insult." A few people nearby went still. He laughed again, louder this time. "You're taking it too seriously." "I'm taking it exactly as it was meant," she said. Calm, controlled. "Now, would you like to order food, or should I give you a few more minutes to decide who you want to be tonight?" That landed harder than any raised voice could have. His smile faded. "Excuse me?" he said. She didn't back away. "I'm here to do my job, not to be part of a performance." He studied her now, really studied her, like he was trying to place something he missed the first time. "What's your name?" he asked. "Maya," she said. "Well, Maya," he replied, tone changing, "you should be careful. You never know who you're talking to." She nodded once. "I do," she said. "That's why I chose my words carefully." He opened his mouth to respond, then stopped. Something about her confidence unsettled him. He waved a hand. "Fine," he said. "Just bring the wine." She wrote it down and turned to leave. As she walked away, the man at the next table leaned over slightly. "Good for you," he whispered. She didn't respond. She didn't need to. In the kitchen, another server looked at her wide-eyed. "What was that?" she asked. Maya set the pad down. "Nothing," she said. "Just someone realizing too late that he picked the wrong language." Out in the dining room, the billionaire stared at his reflection in the window. For the first time in a long time, he felt exposed, not because he had been challenged, but because he had been understood. And that bothered him more than he wanted to admit. He didn't let it go. People like him rarely do. When Maya returned with the wine, he was standing beside the table, phone in hand. "I spoke to the manager," he said quietly. "I don't appreciate being embarrassed in public." She placed the glass down gently. "I didn't embarrass you." You did that yourself." His jaw tightened. "You're very confident for someone in your position." She looked at him, calm as ever. "Confidence doesn't come from position. It comes from knowing who you are." That's when the manager arrived, already tense, already apologetic. "Sir, is there a problem?" "Yes," the billionaire said quickly. "Your waitress was rude." Maya didn't interrupt. She didn't defend herself. She simply waited. The manager turned to Maya. "Maya?" She met his eyes. "He spoke to me in another language to mock me. I replied in the same language. That's all." The billionaire scoffed. "She's twisting it." Before the manager could respond, a woman from a nearby table stood up. "That's not what happened," she said. "We heard everything." Then another voice joined in. "So did we." The manager hesitated, caught between money and truth. The billionaire's face hardened. "Do you know who I am?" he asked, louder now. "I fund charities. I sit on boards. I could buy this place twice." Maya finally spoke again, her voice steady. "Then you should understand something," she said. "Respect doesn't come with a receipt." The room went still. The manager cleared his throat. "Sir," he said carefully, "perhaps it would be best if we de-escalate." The billionaire looked around. No laughter, no support, just eyes watching him, waiting. For the first time that night, he sat back down. Maya turned away and returned to the kitchen, her hands steady, her heart racing just enough to remind her she was human. She didn't know it yet, but this moment wasn't ending here. It was just changing direction. The check came later than usual, not because of a mistake, because the manager needed time to think. The billionaire sat in silence, barely touching his food, the confidence he walked in with now folded neatly behind his posture. When Maya returned, she placed the check down without a word. He looked up at her. "You could have played this smarter," he said quietly. "People like me can open doors or close them." She met his eyes one last time. "People like you already have," she said. He scoffed, reached for his wallet, then stopped. He glanced around the room again. A few diners were still watching, not judging, remembering. He signed the receipt quickly and stood up. At the door, he paused. "You wasted an opportunity tonight," he said, not turning around. Maya didn't raise her voice. "No," she replied. "I kept my dignity." He left without another word. The next morning, the restaurant owner called Maya into the office. She expected the worst, a warning, a suspension, maybe even termination. Instead, he slid his phone across the desk. A video was playing, shot from across the room, clear enough to hear the language, clear enough to see the moment his smile fell. "It's everywhere," the owner said quietly. "People are calling, not to complain, to thank us." Maya exhaled slowly. That afternoon, a message arrived in her inbox, a scholarship offer, then another, then an invitation to speak at a university event on language and power. Opportunities she never chased, doors she never knocked on. Across the city, the billionaire sat in a glass office watching the same video circulate under a headline he couldn't control. His name wasn't mentioned, but the story was, and everyone knew. He'd ordered in another language to feel superior. He never expected the reply, and he never recovered from it the same way again.